Hi there, Phil here from Radio.co, and in this tutorial I'm going to go through a variety of different ways on how you can share your station with listeners from all over the world. And the first step of that is heading to the listen section on your account. So I'm going to click there now, here we go, and as you can see here, the first thing you'll be presented with is a listen link. And I touched on this on a previous tutorial, but this is the most basic, the most archaic way of people listening to your station. It's incredibly easy, it's just not the most attractive, that's all, because people can click on this link here after sharing it with them on Facebook or sending in an email or in a message. And when they click on that, it just opens up a black screen with a play button. So it's not, it's nothing to really look at, but it's a very, very easy way of people listening. And, it could be a preferable way of people listening. You never know. It's worth using. Additionally, what I'd say is the most important, the most well-known way of using listen links here is to submit to things called internet radio directories. Now, if you are an avid listener of podcasts, perhaps, then maybe you go to directories already to listen to them, like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, things like that. They are places on the internet that people go to listen to things like podcasts. It's where they're distributed to. And internet radio has a very similar structure. They're called internet radio directories. Now, you can't submit your radio station to the likes of Spotify or Apple Podcasts, but you can submit them to places like TuneIn, to places like Streamer on here, to places like Radio Garden, My Radio Net. There's a lot of places all over the internet that, hundreds of people, thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people even head to specifically to listen to internet radio. And we have a list of about 40 or so different recommendations on our help center, help.radio.co. So do help yourself to some of those recommendations. Not every directory is going to necessarily be relevant to your audience, but you can't hurt to look through them and see what sort of stations and audiences they typically attract. There's no harm in submitting your station to as many of them as you like. And that's often what these listen links are for. The other way, again, which I've touched on before, is something called web players. What these web players are they are things that you can embed onto a website that maybe you own already or hope to own in the future. So instead of sending them that really unattractive web link, instead of a pretty garish thing like that, instead you can send them to your personal domain name, your website, and when they visit your website, what they'll be presented with is a player that displays artwork for what's currently playing, the logo for your station, a picture of you if you were live on air, something that is far more visually appealing to your audience. And they can see that on front and center on your website. It's automatically playing out, it's popping out. It's a much more attractive and better way for you to get your brand out there. You're taking people to your specific website to listen to your specific radio station. Now, there are further ways we can increase that branding of your radio station by creating a number of things called mobile apps and also Alexa skill smart speaker commands. So this gives you the ability to create your very own mobile app exclusively for your station through Radio.co. And this is an app that we build for you for both Android and Apple devices. And you can access that from the marketplace section here. So we've got our mobile apps here. And this will allow you, as I say, to build an app that's exclusively for your station, and it's white labeled. What that means is there's no instances of Radio.co logos on there. There's no other station on there. It's a 100% app that's just purely dedicated to your branding and your logos and the name of your station. And you'll see that there are some similarities between these apps here. There are things that look very similar in terms of like the layout. So, the app itself, it follows a very strict template. So we've kind of almost built most of the app for you. But you decide on the logos. You decide on links to social media channels, websites you may have. Do you have a podcast? Well, great. Add your RSS feed, your podcast content, your on-demand programs can be available through your app as well. So everything that is custom to you and personalized for you are the choices that you make here. And we just get the app built for you, we get it reviewed, approved, and then we help you with the releasing of it. And all in all, on average, it takes about 2 to 3 weeks for an app to be completed. Additionally, we can make you a Alexa smart speaker command. Smart speakers have very quickly become one of the most popular ways of people listening to internet radio. And I certainly use mine an awful lot to listen to internet radio. In fact, UK and US adults, over 50% of people listening to internet radio are using purely smart speakers. It's almost become the brand new version of the radio that played in the corner of your kitchen or your front room from day to day. So This is a very, very cheap way to make your station even more efficient and accessible. It's quite a quick turnaround to build these skills. It takes us roughly about 7 working days to create a skill and get it released and get it published for you. And again, it's white labeled, so you decide what's the name of the skill, what's the name of the Amazon Alexa sort of app, what do you want the pronunciation to be, the description, what's the tagline. So if I was doing Phil Radio playing the greatest hits on earth, it would say playing Phil Radio, the greatest hits on earth. I decide all those. We just get it built, programmed, and released for you. These do come at a cost depending on which subscription plan you're on. If you are subscribing to our Premium and our Plus plan, then our Alexa skill and our mobile apps are included in that price. If you are subscribing to our Standard or our Lite plans, you can pay an extra fee of $35 or £27 a month and $10 a month or £8 a month here for the Alexa skill, and they can be added on and removed on any of those plans. If you want more guidance on how to get your station out there, particularly when it comes to very basic marketing and tips on how to use social media effectively, then I've done a ton of webinars in the past that go over just like that, and you'll be able to find those by subscribing to our Radio.co YouTube channel and also finding them on our help centre, which is help.radio.co. And for more tutorials just like that, head to that help centre, help.radio.co. And until next time, take care and happy broadcasting. Want to take your radio station to the next level? Well, here at Radio.co, we don't just specialise in launching new radio stations, but elevating existing ones too. For example, do you have an internet radio station that doesn't seem to be hitting that audience you want? Are you unsure whether the branding or the content you've created is right? Are there just too many industry buzzwords and equipment types that you can't get your head around? Allow me to offer my expertise. For just $50, you can schedule in a 50-minute consultation with me to go through every aspect of your station, with the goal of refocusing and revitalising your efforts to mold it into something that you're truly happy with. Even if you don't have a radio station or podcast yet, but you'd like some guidance on how to get off to a strong start, then please don't hesitate to get in touch. Don't let stress and small audience numbers get you down. Get in touch via studio@radio.co and we'll put our heads together to turn this thing around.